just wait a couple seconds and see if anyone comes. We'll see. Oh dear. Okay. So today, I might have to change that color. Just found a different one. So today what we're going to do is the starfish. Now, when I was painting, I kind of forgot that the starfish was a different color. And that the stitch that we're going to use for the starfish, you can actually see through it a bit, okay? So if this is something that is going to bother you, meaning, we've got like a weird shadow. Meaning, let me just see if I can fix that. There we go. Meaning you don't like that you can kind of see through it a bit. Here we go. It's the bar, from the tripod. So yeah, if you don't like that you can kind of see through it a bit, then I would suggest doing some satin stitch behind it. Okay. If you don't care, then you don't have to do that first. So see what I do first. And if you don't like it, you can always do your satin stitch first. Okay. Literally just over the whole thing. And then you can do our stitch that we're going to do today over top of it. So what we're going to do today is the whipped fly stitch. Okay. So it's going to be a fly stitch. It's in the same family as the single feather and the feather stitch over here. And we're going to work in each of these 5 sections individually. Then we're going to whip down the middle, and then we're going to do a stem stitch around the outside. Okay. So it's going to be a little bit of work today. I'm going to show you one arm to start, and I'm going to show you how to do the outline if you want to do that. Okay. This is not as bright as it normally is. We'll just see what happens. Okay, so what you're going to do is start at the very, very top of one of these little starfish guys. So we're going to do this one right here in the middle, and that will be really nice. We're like extreme angling in this one because goodness gracious, I can't find a way to stitch it that I can also. Thank you guys for being patient because I'm trying my best. Okay, so what we're going to do is do our fly stitch first. And so what you're going to do is start here with just one little straight stitch. No, we don't need to do that. We're going to start on the side because our whip can be the straight stitch down the middle. Hello, so excited for the sea star. Thank you. Hello, I'm excited too. So we're going to start on the side like this. I know normally I start with the front, the one little, stay there, the one little stitch down the middle. But for this one, we actually don't need to do that. So let's go to the side, and we're going to go to this other side, just to the side. I'm using 3 strands, okay? Because I want to get a lot of little fly stitches in there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come up a little bit below these 2 stitches that you've done, just below that, okay? Now, the more below, if you know what I mean, you go, that's going to be like the more severe of an angle. So just to have a look like that. All right. Or we can move it up a bit and put it like that. Okay. Whatever you kind of think works best. All right. But we're going to come up from the back for that. I was just kind of showing you how it would look with the different ways. So come up from the back, and you're going to make the same kind of V or U shape that we made with the single feather and the feather, okay? And you're going to do a straight stitch. Just going to tack that down like that. Okay? And then you're going to come up on the line, the outside line, right below it, but leave a bit of space. I wonder if there we go. I'm going to leave a little space between our stitches. Okay, so it is a bit open. We don't want to put them like right next to each other and touching. We do want them a bit open. And for this one, you're going to come up at the bottom of that little stitch right there. Do you see? Just like that. And then pull that down like this. So do you see how it's kind of open behind it? I'm trying to get close so that you can see, but it looks a little bit blurry still. And then again, just that one little tacking stitch. And we're going to do this all the way down, okay? And for this one, you're going to need, you can either use the same color or a contrasting color. I would suggest a contrasting color. I'm going for a red, like this, for my outline and the whip down the middle. And then up here, like this. Now, however many of these you want to do, that's completely up to you. You could even make them almost touching if you want to. So there's like no space in between. But we are going to whip the middle, which means we're going to put our needle underneath each one of these little straight stitches like that. And it's going to make like a twisty effect down the center. So keep that in mind when you're picking your colors, and also when you're doing, you know, how close these are going to be together. Because we do need access to those little straight stitches that are down the center. Okay, so I reckon I can get one more in there. And we don't really want to go all the way so that we're touching that one. Okay, this line right here. Leave a little bit of space between there because I'm going to actually use the contrasting color to do a little straight stitch to separate those spaces out. So a little bit to think about in this one, but I think once we have it all colored in, it's not really going to matter that we didn't watercolor or stem stitch first. Split satin stitch. Do you know your stitches? Satin stitch first, okay? I only suggested it because I've got a knot, all right? I'm not just pausing to talk. I've only suggested it because I know some people might really want to do that. And if you do want to do that, you need to do it before you do all this. So just have a think. And then the very last one is going to be right down the center, like this. Okay? Now, do that for each of the 5 arms. Okay? So you should have 5 arms all together. If you can make that a little round bit there. If you can't, that's fine too. We actually went to Cabela's, if you've ever heard of Cabela's, today. And then we went to the River's Edge pizza place in Dundee. If you're not from around here, you probably do not know what I'm talking about. But it has really good pizza, and we ended up getting a wrap and some fries and some pretzel bites, and we ate so much food. I'm seriously so full even now. Oh, I know what's going to happen. It's going to get to be like 9 o'clock, and I'm going to be like, I could have like some queso dip, or like a root beer float, or like, I know exactly what's going to happen, because like even right now, I'm like, oh, I'm so full. Okay, we're going to do the whipped part now. All right, so you need your contrasting color. I'm using 3 strands again, because I don't want it to be too overpowering down the center. I just want it to be like a little razzle dazzle, you know? A metallic thread could be really fun for this too, if you don't mind working with metallic thread. Or you could use a completely different color. So for example, I'm using like a red and an orange. They're quite similar. You could do like a blue or green or a yellow even, like a light yellow, and you can like really make it like pop off there. Lots of people use this whipped stitch with red and white for a candy cane, okay, around Christmas. So quite a fun effect. All right, so what we're going to do is come right back up in the center here, like this. Now with this red color, all we're going to do is we're going to slide our needle underneath each of these straight stitches that we did to tack down our fly stitch, okay? So you're going to put it through. Sorry for reaching over. You can go from left to right or right to left, but you cannot go back and forth, right? So we're not going through this way and then that way and then this way. You can't do that. That's not the way. All right, so I'm choosing right to left because I'm right-handed. So I'm going to put my thread on this side again and then slide my needle underneath this one. So we're not going through the threads, we're not going through the fabric. We're just sliding our needle underneath each of these straight stitches. Again, I'm really sorry that I have to reach in front of the camera to grab the needle. So I'm sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to do our next one. Okay, and I like to kind of pull up a little bit like this. Just give it like a little tug so that it's not like loose, because sometimes what can happen is it can kind of stay loose like that. Yeah, you don't want it to be loose, but you also don't want to pull it like so tight so that it's like strangling it. Now, I really quite like these like same-ish colors because I'm also going to outline it with this red color. So it's just going to give it like a little something, you know, down the middle. And then in the very end, do that longer straight stitch like this. Okay. So if we zoom out, it just has like a little bit of like a red tinge down the middle. All right. If I were to choose it again, I would probably do a bit darker color. But I didn't actually pull any darker ones. I only have like pink instead of red. So if I did it again, I would probably use a darker red just so I can like really get that like a nice vibrant like pop. However, we are also going to do the stem stitch around the outside. Okay, so let me do the stem stitch and then you can kind of see what I mean. Okay, so to do your stem stitch, you're going to pick a point to start, and I'm just going to do it right here. Yeah, and you're going to come and we're going to do the outline of the whole thing around. All right, so you're going to come here like this. Again, 3 strands. This thread is a lot more red in real life. On the camera, it looks really orange. And we're going to do some smaller stitches here. So we're going to do about that big. Okay. Leave your loop and come up in the middle of these 2 stitches. And pull it up. Okay. And then leave your loop again and come down about a half a stitch away. So from... Here we go. Right. So from here to here, and where I just came up to the little half stitch, they should all be the same size stitches, just offset like that. Okay. I know I'm really close, and so my fingers look ginormous. I'm so sorry. Okay, pull that up, and then we're going to do that around the entire thing. So this is going to be like a U-pick type thing. You know what I mean? You decide what you like and what you don't like for this. If you think that having a background color would be really good, then do that. But also you could make your stitches a little bit smaller so that they cover a bit more of the area around the tip here. You'll have to make your stitches a little bit smaller for these stem stitches because they will not lay very nicely if they are too big. They will start to cut across each other and look really geometric. So keep that in mind when you're doing the really tight corners like that. When the corners get really, really small, you might have to make your stitches a lot smaller. What's going on with this thread? It feels a bit snappy. Do you know what I mean? It's giving snap, snap. Okay, now with stem stitch, I like to put my loop on the hump. So if my hump is going like this, like the starfish, we're going to put the loop on the top. Okay, there's also a stitch called outline stitch, and you do the opposite. So you put the loop underneath. But I think that the stem stitch lays nicer when the loop is on the hump. Now we are going to do a bit of both with this one, because do you see how now the hump is changing? The shape is changing here. It's not a big deal, but I know that here it's going to lay nicer if I put it on the hump. So that's why I've kind of kept it. I've chose that way, and then we'll keep going that way. There's something going on with this. I don't like it right there. Maybe I need to just snip that. And I feel like there's like a knot in there somewhere or something. We'll see. Okay, so this is going to go all the way around. Okay? All the way around the entire thing. Now, I would probably do all of the whipped fly stitches first, and then do the stem stitch outline after. But I just wanted to show you both without having to have you wait like 40 minutes for me to do all 5 of them. And then you'd be like, okay, well, what's the next part? Because these videos are downloading so good from, 3 strands for everything today, from Instagram. And I have a feeling it's because a lot of them have been like around 30 minutes. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to have to try and keep them around that time or less. I think that the longer videos, they don't save as well, and then, or they get corrupted or whatever, and then I can't upload them to YouTube, and I can't do it. So tonight you'll have your next 2 videos, because today is day 5. That means tomorrow we're having a break. You can catch up with everything that we've done, whether that's like seed stitch or that big satin stitch flower, whatever it is. It's like a catch up day. So we don't have anything tomorrow. And then we'll do the next 5 days in a row. So that will be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay? So there we go. So that's pretty much it. So I cannot wait to see what colors you guys choose. I'm going to stop here because I want to do my whipped fly stitch first. You know? I'm just going to stop it like that. I'll do my whipped fly stitch and then do it after that. But what I think, if I just pick this up, what I think is that, see, I need the video, I need it here. See, that is like chef's kiss. Like, yes, look at that. That is good light, okay? I need it here. I have to see if I've got a tripod somewhere. Maybe my parents do. Okay, so there you go. So we've got our whipped fly stitch there, and then we've got our stem stitch outline all around it. So there we go. That's what it looks like. I think in the end, it won't be so bad to not have anything under. You know, if you kind of look at it, I think it'll be all right. But if you really don't like the look of that, you can always do a really quick satin stitch over the whole thing. And then do it that way, you know. I also said I'd probably add a little straight stitch like this to divide each of the sections. Just to separate them a bit, you know. I've only got one hand, so sorry. You can't actually see what I'm doing. Just so you can kind of see the little sections of the starfish, but it's completely up to you what you decide. So there you go. That's it for me. I'll zoom out. That's what we have so far. Okay, I hope you love it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? I will not see you tomorrow. Just kidding. That was a test for myself. I'm not going to see you tomorrow, okay? I'll see you on Wednesday. All right, bye.